Welcome to the Contrary Landlord. This video we are going to cover inclement cold weather and what to do about it if your furnace and your heating goes out. This is for folks that live in the north, Great White North, that has actually snow, and the middle of the country that has snow sometimes. And this is especially for the folks that live in the southern part of the country where you get something like this once in a great while. We are going to start on the outside because that is the most vulnerable to cold weather and to freeze ups. This is the outside spigot, which you would not have this contraption on during the summer, but this is to give insulation during the winter. This is for your outside hose and for your watering the grass in the summertime, washing the car, or whatever. This contraption here is really good to have on it because what it does is that it provides insulation. And now we're going to go inside and look at from the inside in the basement. Okay. Good place to start if your furnace goes out or if the electric to the furnace goes off and you can't run your furnace. All furnaces, no matter what they are, if they're natural gas or if they're electric boiler or electric furnace or propane or anything, depend on electric. When electric goes off, furnace doesn't work. So you start in a good place, is the central place is in the kitchen. Kitchen is got cabinets, and underneath the sink is where all the water hookups are, and you can take a look at that there. There it is. What you need to do is you need to clear the cabinet out under the sink, because this one particularly has a whole bunch of stuff there. That is preventing any circulation from warm air getting into it. So you need to clear that out. Put it in a safe place if you have children or pets, because they could get into it and be harmful to them. Otherwise, if you're not bothered by pets or children, you can go ahead and clear that out on the floor and just leave it until the danger has passed from freeze-ups. The other thing you can do is that you can put a heater on the floor in front of the cabinet. Electric heater is not going to work if you don't have any electric, but if you just have a furnace that is malfunctioning and not working, you can put an electric heater and make sure that it's on the outside. You put it inside, that might cause the heat to build up in there, and it might cause a fire. So you can put a electric heater out here that will keep the water from freezing up under the sink. You can also use a propane heater. Propane heaters are, a lot of people don't feel comfortable with them. I do. I've used propane heaters in barns and sheds and ice fishing shanties, and it works really well. So what you need to do is go by your own comfort level. I've actually have heard, if they don't have an electric heater and you still have electricity to your house, that you can go ahead and put a light bulb, an old-fashioned light bulb underneath. It's not touching anything, and that light bulb will also keep the area underneath the sink from freezing. So you also need to do the same thing for your bathroom. This is the bathroom sink. Of course, it's got the same setup underneath, and this has even got more stuff in it. So what you need to do is clear this stuff up, put it in a safe place if you have children or pets, and allow the air to circulate around your pipes to keep them from freezing up. Another place to be concerned about is your bathtub and your shower. A lot of places have both a bathtub and a shower. So that is to have it open. Don't have it closed for towels or any shower curtain or anything like that. So it is open. Make sure that there's enough circulation going to the pipes. Another thing is the toilet. Now, if it's really, really, really cold, you might want to go ahead and drain the toilet. To do that, you need to do the shutoff. That's right down there on the floor. The shutoff valve, you turn that until it's completely shut off, and then you flush it until there is no water in the tank and there's no water in the bowl. That'll keep that from freezing up and bursting. So this also depends on your house, how many toilets you have or how many bathrooms you have or showers. This house has 2 toilets. This is the one in the basement. And this one's a little bit different than the one upstairs because it doesn't have a shut-off valve next to it. It has a shut-off valve up in the ceiling. You can see to your right there, that is the water coming off the main pipe, going down to the toilet. That's how they plumbed it in. And this is the valve. I love these valves because you can simply turn them off just by going like this. That's turned off. That is turned on when it's in line with the pipe. Another appliance that you might be concerned about in your house if the electric goes out is your electric hot water heater. And that is a situation where you might want to drain it if it's going to be any length of time. If you don't know it's going to be a day or two, might not be a problem because it's already got hot water in it. It's going to retain the heat for a while. But if it's going to be more than a couple days, I'm afraid that the best thing you can do is to drain the entire tank. I need to get a garden hose, and the valve for that is right down here. That's what you put the garden hose on. Take looks like a screwdriver. Takes turn on there to open the valve, and you can have your water hose go over here into the drain in the basement that goes into your sewer system. That is very important to have because it's freezes up, it breaks it up, it's going to be expensive. So I also wanted to show you the back side of that outside spigot, water spigot. This is a frost-free water spigot. It's one of those that you have probably about a foot to 18 inches of pipe. It's got a mechanism in it that when it starts freezing up, that it has a spring in it and a mechanism in it that it relieves the pressure. And actually, if you can see here, the pressure is relieved and it squirts out water, and it doesn't freeze up because of that. It doesn't cause any splitting of the pipe or any damage. This one is protected by a wrap to keep it from freezing. It also has a place where when it does start freezing up and the water starts squirting out to relieve the pressure on the pipe, it goes down a pipe here so it doesn't get all over the floor. Now, I think that there is a much simpler way of dealing with an outside pipe is to have one of these marvelous little spigots here. The valve where you can go ahead and turn it off or turn it on. Right now it is turned off, and you can open the outside spigot that relieves all the pressure and all the water from the valve to the outside spigot. It'll never freeze up, and that is a very good thing to do in the fall to keep it from freezing up. And if you forget it, it's a really good thing to do if you have a chance to freeze up. Another method to use to keep your pipes from freezing up, something that the northern parts of the United States use, and is called the trickle effect. What you do is that you allow a trickle of water to come out of the faucet that is the furthest from where the water comes into the house. Usually it's the kitchen. It's also central. And you start a very thin trickle of water, about maybe a pencil width, and you need to have permission in order to do this, because you will get charged for the water used if you don't. Some municipalities and water providers go ahead, and when things get bad enough where the frost it's far enough in the ground that it might freeze up pipes underground, or if it gets very, very cold and they're concerned about freeze-ups in their customers' houses, they will say that you can do a trickle. And the trickle, I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. But if you are given permission to do a trickle, or if you call your water provider and get permission from them, you need to make sure that they know who you are, give the name, location of the house, and what happens is that they will not charge you for the amount of water that you use when you're trickling, because it adds up. It adds up into the hundreds of dollars sometimes. What they are concerned about is that they know that you're trickling. They will not charge you the full amount. What they do is they take maybe the month before or an average of the year, and that's your next bill. Otherwise, it could get very, very expensive. So you need to make sure that you notify that your water provider that you're doing this, if it's okay with them, if they give you permission. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to turn the water on at a trickle, just to show you how much you're using. Just give me a second here. Okay, that's a trickle. You might want to do a little more than that. That's all you need to do. As you can see, it's coming out there. That provides enough flow water through all the pipes, and that will prevent the water from freezing up. It's very important to be aware of this and to not turn it off accidentally. Another important part of your house that you need to take a look at when you're having freeze-ups is your washing machine. Use a lot of water. There's a lot of water pipes that go to this appliance, and you need to literally shut it off and drain it. So we've got the washing machine here, and we're going to go and take a good look at the valves. They're the old-fashioned kind. That is the valves that I don't particularly like. These valves are easily gummed up, and when you have hard water in your pipes, and a lot of times when you go to use them, they don't work. So you have to keep on top of them and make sure that they are working every fall. check them, make sure that they're working. If they're not, you need to change them out. But what you need to do first to winterize, in an emergency, winterize your washing machine, is that you need to come over and you need to follow the pipes. These pipes are going up into the ceiling, you can see there, and they come over here all the way across the basement, and they come over. They have the hot and the cold. Hot comes out of actually these plastic pipes here, and the cold is right behind them there. Need to shut that off. They have valves for them, and let's see if we can see them really quick. That's the valve for that. And if they don't have valves, you need to put them in. So we got valves that come out over here. The pipes, follow the pipe back. They're shut off. Come back, not too fast here. And come back to these valves that are next to the washing machine. What you do is you turn these off counterclockwise. They are shut off, and then you take both of the hoses off. Don't have to take them off the machine. Then what you do is, when you're taking them off, they drain into a bucket that is down here. We have one that's handy. They drain into the bucket. That makes sure that all of the water is completely out of that section of pipe. And now this is protected because you notice it's over here next to a window and it's next to an outside wall. It gets very cold if you don't have any heat in the house. Since we are looking at the piping around the hot water heater, just want to point out that these are plastic pipes. You don't see them very often up in the northern part of the country, simply because it's very hard to thaw these pipes out, and I'll explain that in a second, when they're plastic. It's easier to thaw out a pipe when it is metal, like this, or copper, like this. And what you do with a metal pipe, though, you can literally hook a welder on one end and run a wire over to another end, and you can gently put through electricity through the pipe and the water, and that will thaw out the pipe. The pipes like this, usually found in southern states because supposedly it doesn't freeze up down there, are harder to thaw out. What I use for something like this is a hair dryer, and we will cover that in a different video on what to do to kind of prepare long term for any type of freeze up. But just wanted to point that out. You'll find that kind of piping in warmer climates, in southern climates, because they don't think it's going to freeze up. Don't see it very much often up here, but here it is. Okay, this might look familiar to you. This is the water that comes out from the utility, whoever's providing your water, the water company or the municipality. This water is literally coming from the outside. It's coming from under the street, under your yard, and up through the foundation here. That's where it comes in. All this piping belongs to the utility company, including the meter. That's how they can tell how much water you're using. And the meter is, in this case, is a wireless one. You don't have to have a person come around to read the meter from the outside or come into your house to read the meter in the basement. It's got a wireless on it, it's got an antenna on it, and all they do is drive up and down the street with a truck when it comes time to take the meter reading for your utility bill, your water bill. And they can read this, and it is very accurate, and that's how they measure water use. Now this is theirs. If you need to see, there's a little bit more pipe that goes out of the water meter, and then there is your valve that you would use to shut the water off into the entire house. This is actually pretty nice to have, because this water valve, the old-fashioned kind there, would turn it off in case there is a freeze up on the pipe that the utility uses or at the meter. After that, it is your responsibility. That is the valve to the entire house. When you shut that off, there is no water coming out of the mains here, no water coming out from your water company. It's very important to know this and know where that is. Okay, it's very important to know who owns this piece of water pipe here. Up until that bend and where it goes into your valve belongs to the utility, to the water company. It's either municipality or it is a private water company. Any breaks that is before your valve that happens in either the meter or in the piping that comes into the house, whether it's under the street or under the yard, is the responsibility of the water company. If that water pipe is to burst or to break or needs replacing, they do it, and it's their cost. The water that comes out of the meter, the pipe that comes out of the meter past this valve here, is entirely yours. If there's any leaks at this point or in any place in the house, that is your cost for the water, your cost for the replacement of any pipes or any damage. Now, it really makes a big difference here what I just told you, because any water that comes out of a break that is in the pipe that belongs to the house is that the water company will charge you for it. So if you run 20, 30, 40 gallons of water out of a break on this water pipe into the basement, that's what they're going to charge you for, is they're going to charge you for that amount. If it's a situation where they have a break, say in the meter or in any of their pipes, it is going to cause damage too, but it is not going to cost you for the water. They only charge for the water that is on your side of the pipes, that they can't, if they can read the meter and it's going through on your side and it's coming out in a hole in your pipe, they charge you for the water. If it comes on their side and there's nothing on the meter, they can't charge you for the water. That's a very, very, very good distinction, simply because it costs a hell of a lot of money for 20, 30, 40,000 gallons of water. We're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. So I can tell you two stories, two examples. There was a pipe leak on the owner's side, on the house side of the water pipes, and they ended up with 42,000 gallons in the basement. And they ended up paying for that. They ended up paying for the repair. And also, that much water in the basement destroys everything. It takes everything out that you've got stored in the basement, and it also takes out any walls in the basement that are drywall or anything else. It's a hell of a mess. So you want to avoid any type of freeze-ups in your basement if you can. The other thing is, it was a rental that I managed. They had a break right in the meter, in the plastic part there, from the pipe, the water going through, and it was probably about 20,000 gallons that were released into the basement. Pumped out the basement, did our cleanup. We had to clean it up. It's the stuff in the basement, and dispose of things that were damaged. But that was the repair, and also the water bill was totally on them. They did not and was not able to charge the owner of the house the amount that they lost in water from the leak. So this house that we're touring right now has a couple added features. One of them is they have a sauna and a small shower in the sauna. So that's something else that you need to take into consideration. Take a good hard look at your house. Realize that there are different components, and you might have a sauna, you might have a shower in the basement. Here is the heater for the sauna. You don't have any water going to it on this case, but you definitely have it over here for the shower. And that is something else that you need to find where the valve is. Shut that water off, and just open the little spigots right over in here. So that's pretty much all I can think of. Water system is a wonderful thing when it works. Water system is a wonderful modern invention, as long as it doesn't freeze up or have any other problems with it, like leaks from faulty pipes or anything like that. So that's our video for this particular subject. And if you got anything out of it, please like or subscribe to our channel. And we're going to leave you with that.